Hello everyone, my name's Julia Brace-Skirdle. In my early 20s, due to ill health, sport was taken away from me. In my 50s I thought, bugger it, I'm going to do sport again. And so I went to a bike shop and asked the young man there, could I have a mountain bike please? And he looked at me and said, and how many mountains do you plan to bike up? And well, I admitted I was going to start on the footpath. And he said, well, I have the bike for you. And he brought out the Avanti Discovery Comfort bike for the older rider, which I actually loved. It had big bull handlebars, it had a granny gear, so I could get up the hills. It had roll gears, which were easy to manage, but best of all, it had a large, squishy, comfortable bike seat, which was comfortable in the extreme. In fact, it was very comfortable on the extremities. That bike seat had added benefits I never would have expected. Very quickly, though, I got off the footpath and started riding on the roads. I decided to do the Round Taupo Challenge because that was the thing. It took me 8 hours, and I was very happy. But the one thing I didn't like was being passed by all those other people on speedier bikes. So I went back to the bike shop, another bike shop, and said, could I have a road bike, please? And he said to me, well, what do you ride now? And I said, well, I ride the Avanti Discovery Comfort bike for the older rider. And he said, well, that's perfectly all right for you, dear. And he went off and served somebody else. I complained to a friend, and she said, you need to learn the language of bikes. So I did. So I went to another bike shop and said, could I have a one up from entry road bike with Shimano this and Tiagra that, and compound this and compact that? And he brought out the OCR, a giant OCR Velux 6000 series, which absolutely terrified me at the beginning. But I got used to it. By that stage, I'd also learned how to swim better and had a coach and was running. So I decided to do the Taupo Half Ironman, which, much to my surprise, I got third. And qualified for to represent New Zealand and Weihei, China in the long-distance try. But that was far too scary to contemplate. So instead I did a shorter distance try in Wellington. And much to my surprise, I got second. And again, much to my surprise, I qualified for the world distance try for age groupers in Edmonton, Canada, which was much more manageable. So I went, and I got to represent New Zealand and wear the silver fern, and I got 23rd out of 28, and I was very pleased with myself. And I got a medal. On my return, I have another sport that I do as well, which was can survive dragon boating in Wellington. And I got back, and after 6 weeks, we went to Sarasota, Florida, where we participated in the Breast Cancer Survivors World Regatta. We had 4 races over 2 days, and we got into the finals by a smidge. The coach gave us a plan and we paddled up to the start line. But when the gun went, did we stick to the plan? No. We shot down that course like we had wings. And we got third in the world. Where's that one? Oh, there it is. I'll try and put it on. There we go. When I got back, my coach said, well, you're pretty fit now. Why don't you enter an Ironman? So last year, I did. It took me a very long time, 16 hours in fact. It took me 1.5 hours to do the 4K swim. It took me 8 hours to do the 180 bike ride. And it took me 6 hours to do the 42K run, which is incidentally my first marathon. And I finished. Oh, gotta find the right one. That's the wrong one. Oh, where is it? Somewhere in here. There it is. Now, 2 weeks ago, I went to Cozumel Island off Mexico to again represent New Zealand in our World Tri event, doing the standard distance. For the swim, the sea was 29 degrees, which was really good. But there was an extremely strong current, which was really bad. And it took me a long time to actually complete the swim, so by the time I got back on land, I was frankly pretty stuffed. I did the bike was okay, and then the run was completed in temperatures of 35 degrees and 95% humidity. So it was a bit of a battle. But I came in the middle of my field. I got 23rd out of 36, so I am improving. And of course, I got a finisher's medal. And I've tried to keep the tattoos on, but they're starting to come off. The interesting one is you get one on your leg, so that you can recognise your competitors and you hunt down other women that have got 60 or whatever it is on their leg. So, what should I do from here on in? Well, next year I shift up an age group, and I'll be in the 65 to 70-year-olds, along with some very inspiring Kiwi women who run in that competition at the moment. And when I get tired of competing, I know that I've got my Avanti Discovery Comfort bike with its very interesting seat in the garage waiting for me.